Right, just a little video sort of note or guide, just a few comments really on this job, which is a non-air conditioning model heater core replacement. I did all the usual stuff. Move the center console back, remove the center console side panels, all the trim around the doors to get the carpet out of the kick panels by the ECU and down on that side. Remove the lower distribution pipes that run down the side of the transmission tunnel down to under the seats. Remove the centre vent and the distribution box, which is underneath the main heater box assembly. Now, on the air conditioning models, you can unscrew the heater box assembly whilst it's in the car. You can remove a piece off the front of it. I believe there's 10 or 11 screws. With the non-air conditioned models, you can't do that. It's clamped together. It's two pieces molded together, molded pieces which are fixed together with like little spring clamps, a bit like you get on 240 headlamp assemblies that hold the glass to the bucket. Now, one or two people have said, oh, you don't really need to get all of that apart to get the heater core out, and I understand the point, but what they say is that if you go under here, so here we go, I've got a lamp. So they were saying basically that, and you can see those two holes in the bulkhead there, they're sort of saying that if you get that's where the heater pipes come through on the non-air conditioned model. I'm not sure about the air conditioned model, but that if you just undo the pipes for the heater matrix, and then you off the sort of unions that come through the bulkhead there, and then you undo the two screws which secure the matrix inside the heater box assembly, that you can just withdraw it out as long as you've removed the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. Obviously this is an automatic, so it hasn't got a clutch pedal, but I looked at that and I thought, I didn't really see how it was. I did attempt to do that, to be honest, but it wouldn't. I couldn't get the pipes off the heater matrix itself with it in situ. We just sort of stuck on in that sort of way that rubber pipes stick to metal. And also the heater valve was in the way, and I didn't want to break it. I did try and sort of pry it out. It seemed to be just pushed in place, but I couldn't figure it out. But I'll show you in a minute how it's fixed on. So what you have to do to undo the heater box assembly is where the pipes go through, there's a plate, just point to it, these two bolt holes here, there's a stud through each one of those, and there's a nut on the back. You have to undo those nuts, and then the other end, it's fixed where the air comes in here, and in order to undo those bolts, you have to undo. There's a bolt there, there's a bolt there, and there's a bolt there as well. Then you have to remove those bolts, and with the bonnet vertical, lift up the scuttle plate at the front to get that bracket there to clear. There's a bracket that comes down like a lug that comes down, lift it up, and then underneath here, this piece of plastic, I won't take that off now because it's raining, it's sort of glued on with this bitumen stuff that they love. there's a hole there with another piece of plastic, and then there's 2 screws that fix that heater box assembly at that end. And with quite a lot of wriggling, it takes some assistance. If you've got a friendly mate who come and give you a hand, you're in for, it makes it a lot easier. I don't know if it would be possible on your own. I suppose it would be, but it'd just be a bloody nightmare. You can sort of wriggle it out through that door. What I was trying to do with it in the car, I took the clutch pedal off, the brake pedal, sorry, and I was trying to like prise this off, thinking why won't that come off? I don't know. 2 lugs there. So the way to remove that is you have to disconnect this cable at the top here, and then you turn that clockwise. Is it clockwise? Yeah. 90 degrees, and then that will come out. As easy as that. Another note as well is that to remove the heater distribution box, the air distribution box, you have to make sure that the controls are set in the forward vent, the main cabin vent position, which pushes this flap shut, because that flap, if it's down like that, it stops everything coming up, or it stops the distribution box from coming out. It's all very tight fitting under there. It sort of wedges in place the distribution box almost. I think there is 1 screw here, and then there's like a flap of metal that comes down, like a little band of metal that comes down, and there's a rivet. I guess I'm going to have to use a self-tapping screw to replace that. So yeah, you might be able to, I mean, people say you can get it out without dismantling the whole thing. And like I say, just to go over it again, if you remove this by doing that, you might be able to slide that past there. Well, I suppose you would be able to, yeah. Just about go. And that goes over the top. Fucking pain in the arse, to be honest, all the way up. I wouldn't like to try and do that with it on the car. It would just be swearing and shouting by about half an hour in. So yeah, and as you can see, the non-air conditioning model, it isn't possible to remove the heater core from the front like you can with the air conditioning model, because it's clamped together. There's no removable panel.